20 crazy lies you still believe. Number 20. Squirrel. Well, goldfish, actually. The whole whopper of a tale is that goldfish can only remember things for 3 seconds. But, contrary to what you've been told, goldfish do not have a serious memory problem. In fact, goldfish and other small creatures that live underwater have a much longer memory. Number 19. Gut gum collection. It takes 10 years for your body to digest swallowed chewing gum. Moms everywhere would trot that one out to scare you from swallowing your gum. Maybe it's even better than just throwing it out the car window or getting it stuck in your hair, but you can swallow your gum and not panic because this is just another lie that Mom told you. That rubbery clump goes through your body just as any other food you swallow, so there's no cause for alarm. Just keep it in mind that it doesn't exactly belong to a food group. Oh, and please spare our tires and save our souls, shoes that is, by spitting it in the garbage when it's all chewed out. Number 18. Vincent, can you hear me now? Did you hear that Vincent van Gogh cut off his own ear? We all did. And he would have too. Well, half of it. Even in the olden days, rumors spread like wildfire. This popular one was about famed painter Vincent van Gogh. You probably still believe that he cut off his own ear because he was insane, thanks to a love gone awry. But that's not what happened at all. While it is true that his ear was cut off, it wasn't something he did deliberately, but it was just as dramatic. He lost his ear during a sword fight. Now that's not something we hear every day. Number 17. Bright idea. Caution. Wait for it. Thomas Edison did not invent the light bulb. Drop the mic. Okay, no. Mics are expensive. Anyway, one of the most beloved inventors of all time, Thomas Edison, did not invent the first light bulb, even though he's always credited for doing so. Actually, the light bulb had already been invented by both British and American inventors about 50 years before Edison was credited with it. Now, what Edison did do, that bazillions of people are thankful for, was create the first light bulb that could be sold and distributed commercially. Now that's a bright idea. Number 16. Let them eat bamboo. Pandas, that is. Most of us think that pandas only eat bamboo shoots. While evolution, or decades of captivity, has gotten the pandas at the zoo to eat bamboo with much gusto, it might surprise you to know that these cuddly cuties actually are meat eaters. But not to worry, if you happen to stumble upon a panda in the wild, don't panic. Although you might look like a hearty feast, he most likely won't bother. After all, they are not exactly skilled hunters. And if you haven't noticed, they are not the quickest bears in the bunch. But if a tiny, meaty morsel comes in its way, a panda will most likely pounce. Number 15. Antibiotic cold killer. Antibiotics can kill your cold. Not so fast. Antibiotics are for killing off bacterial afflictions. If you have a viral cold or flu, antibiotics won't do a thing to help you. In fact, taking antibiotics more than necessary can make them ineffective in helping you if and when you truly do need them. Also, and perhaps even more alarming, is that we've all collectively overused antibiotics so much that infections like MRSA, for example, are now completely resistant to most antibiotics. Eek! Ugh. Going into cold and flu season, take good care of your health by eating right, preparing foods properly, and washing your hands well and often. Number 14. Witch barbecue. Witches were burned at the stake is yet another lie we believe. TV and movies would have you believe that all witches, or rather the women that were accused of being witches, were tied to a stake and set aflame. While those accused of being witches weren't burned to death, a horrible way to go, they were subjected to hangings, while the onlookers watched and cheered. Somehow, that seems a little less horrible than being shish kebabbed to death. However, not by much. Number 13. A toad tail. You can get warts from toads. That's another lie we believed as kids. Love them or hate them, toads will not do you any harm if you touch them. Perhaps Mom fabricated this gem. After all, toads are a little slimy, but you will not get warts from touching them. Number 12. Knuckle Cracker. Cracking those knuckles will definitely give you arthritis. Another lie. Possibly started to discourage people from cracking their knuckles while you're working. It's loud. All it does is pop the gas particles that build up in your joints. It's actually said to be good for you now. Number 11. Ring around the Johnny. The lie most kids believed is that everyone will know if you peed in the pool because it will change color. This doozy sounds like the work of a parent for obvious reasons, but alas, there are no chemicals used in the pool that will change colors if little Johnny has a mishap or gets lazy. Just be glad there are some germ-killing chemicals in the water, just in case. Now who's up for a swim? Number 10. 13 Original Colonies. This little ditty was a big hit with grade schoolers. 50 nifty United States from 13 Original Colonies. Well, I wonder if anyone teaches that tune anymore since there were only 12 original colonies. Delaware, the 13th one, wasn't added until much later. Why did that song get so much airplay in kindergarten land? Side question, and why were the 13 stars on the flag? If you know, please enlighten us. Number 9. Missing person. You must wait 24 hours to report a missing adult. Who started this crock? I'm not sure how this one came to be or why people believe it. Contrary to popular belief, you do not have to wait 24 hours before you report an adult as missing. This is just not a law in any country's books. So, if someone you love goes missing, do not hesitate to report it immediately. Number 8. The tail thickens. Shaving your body hair makes it thicker. Who still believes this lie? Maybe the guys desperate to have cool beards in high school? Nah. This tail was probably for the girls. If they had extra fuzzy arms or legs early on and wanted to shave it off, they were threatened with, "It'll just grow back thicker if you shave it." Is that why over time your legs become less hairy? Good ones, Mom. But be warned, if you remove unwanted hair, it's not going to grow back thicker. Take eyebrows, for example, and heed this warning. Plucking your eyebrows will eventually result in less or no hairs growing back. And trust me, the thin or barely there brow look is just a fad you'll come to regret if you're not protective of those little caterpillars above your eyes. Number 7. Now you see it. Soaking your tooth in Coca-Cola overnight will dissolve it. That was a hot lie for a hot minute and then some. Back in the 1980s and 1990s, this rumor went out of control when the Coca-Cola company was under fire for other things. Cue the lies. If you leave an old tooth in the soda overnight, they say it will dissolve completely. But that's simply not true. It will do damage, and significant damage, in just a couple nights, but will not dissolve into nothingness in one night. Number 6. Kidney on the rocks. People will trick you into stealing your kidney and leaving you on ice. Okay, this spooky rumor still has people everywhere cringing, but the good news is it's completely false. No one has ever had their kidney or any other organ stolen and been left in a bed of ice afterward. You might get offers to have someone buy it from you, illegally of course, but the thieving of vital organs is not legitimate. Number 5. The eyes lies. All those lies about your eyes. Mom always said if you sat too close to the TV or read in dim light, it would damage your eyes. But there's no scientific evidence to back that up. Oh, and carrots won't suddenly reverse the fictitious damage. That's just Mom pulling a double whopper on a lazy kid that won't eat his vegetables. There is evidence to suggest, though, that blue screens from our phones can cause eye problems. However, it's mostly about keeping us awake, because the blue screens activate our brain and tell us to wake up. So power down the handheld devices before you power down for the night. Number 4. Venti coffee tales. Coffee will stunt your growth. Seriously, coffee is typically seen as a beverage for adults, so it's likely that this tall tale about staying short came from a parent that didn't want her kid sneaking a sip or two. Let's face it, caffeine is unnecessary in a kid's diet, but saying that coffee will stunt your growth, it's just not true. Number 3. Freeze frame. Your face will freeze like that forever. Busted again, Mom. You have to hand it to parents. They were really creative with their lies. This is another one that isn't at all true. Facial muscles are very elastic and will go back to normal. Just look at funny guy Jim Carrey. On a side note, some facial lines, especially on the forehead and mouth area, are mainly caused from constant muscle use via facial expressions. There is a trick to put a strip of tape on your forehead to remind yourself not to lift your eyebrows all the time. If you try it, send photos, please. Number 2. You'll pop your eye out. Is it true that your eyes will fall out if you sneeze with them open? No, nada, nope. While the blood pressure behind your eyes is elevated, when you sneeze, there is no chance your eyes will pop out of their sockets, not even if you try to open your eyes while doing it. Sidebar, some think it's impossible to sneeze and keep your eyes open at the same time, but it's supposed to be possible, although I've yet to keep my peepers open while sneezing. Number 1. The last grain lie. You'll get a year of bad luck for every grain of rice left in your bowl, kids are told. Yeah, okay. Some Asian kids can tell you all about this nugget their parents always threatened. They believe that leaving even 1 grain of rice in your bowl is going to leave you with a year of bad luck. This was likely to keep kids from wasting food, so to make them clean a plate or a bowl. Please hit the like and subscribe buttons to help us grow so we can keep bringing you new content. Thanks for watching.